All right, guys. Some people had asked me to watch this video. It's called "Why Do Ugly Women Attract Hot Men?" Somebody actually asked me to watch Brittany Simon's video about it, but I'm like, why wouldn't I just watch the main video? It seems a little bit bizarre to me not to. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is a little bit of unexplored territory to me because I've never thought about that. I know why attractive women would date an ugly guy because they got money. Maybe the same is in reverse. I don't know, but I feel like I could imagine myself being a muscular dude, you know, going at it with a thick queen. So yeah, I don't know. I will say though, just to be clear, you know, obviously being overweight is not ideal, but just because you're overweight doesn't mean that you're ugly. She doesn't really look ugly from what I'm seeing here. Just being honest. So I don't really know. This is like the first frame of the video. So I'm kind of like, that's interesting, you know, because I don't think that she's ugly. She's just overweight, right? She's big, but that's not. I mean, it's not like necessarily a bad thing. But let's go.
Content creator Alicia McCarville
Hold
went
on.
viral. Social media content creator Alicia McCarville went viral a few years back when she posted this video of herself and her husband to TikTok. At the time, loads of people were doing videos similar to this one. She probably thought it was cute, a little bit of fun. But this innocent little video made the internet lose its damn mind.
Maybe that's his beard. You know, I don't really know.
People simply could not believe that a man as fit and handsome as Scott, her husband, could possibly find Alicia attractive.
I mean, I think he could, or maybe he's, you know, I don't know. He might. I don't know.
Alone marry her. It's a tale as old as time. Handsome, rich, successful man marries down. She's ugly, they fume. How did she get him? He could do so much better. She must have trapped him. He must have.
She's Australian. What's going on here?
Mummy issues. In Australia, we even have a name for it. Punching. If you are told that you are punching above your weight, it basically means that you are in a relationship with someone who is much better looking than you.
Listen, man, I don't listen. Here's my thing. I will look at people and go, that person could do better. But this seems like a lot. There's like a lot of energy here. It's like a lot of negative energy. Like I think like, hey, God bless. You know, you got to be happy. You know, maybe there's something that the other person does for them behind closed doors. There's so much more. There's so much more to a relationship other than just like what somebody looks like. You know, you could be a very difficult person to be with, and somebody could fill in all the blanks you need to have filled in. You know, like that's how I feel about my wife. Like I could be very difficult to be with, and that could be, you know, something, you know, part of the factor there. I don't really know, but it's interesting.
You are the ugly one, and your partner could and should do so much better than you. And it got me thinking, is there something to this whole punching thing? What does attract hot guys to unattractive women? Is it just other people who are jealous and trying to bring said woman down? Or is there actually some
There's definitely a level of truth to that.
kind of secret formula that these ugly women use to ensnare attractive men? Of course, on the other hand, it's seen as normal when an attractive woman marries an unattractive man. He's obviously rich, or famous, or has a big willy, or he's in a position of power that could elevate the attractive woman's social standing. Nothing.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Well, let's get rid of the Weinstein one out of this mental equation here. I don't even feel like contending with that. But like, yeah, all those things make sense. I mean, I think it really depends on what a man versus what a woman generally gravitates towards, or specifically what those people gravitate to. There's guys that I imagine could want an attractive, or could find it attractive if a woman is financially successful. I could see that being like a big ups for a dude. But you know, also maybe the guy likes to eat a lot, and he's like, I'm going to marry a fat girl because she knows how to cook. You know what I mean? I mean, that guy looked pretty ripped up, so maybe that's part of it. You know, because you know what I'm saying, dude. Like, why would you marry a skinny girl if you want to eat good food? It doesn't make any goddamn sense to me, at least. You know,
Wrong with it, totally normal, totally fine, nobody bats an eyelid. But when an attractive or rich or famous man goes for a woman who we deem to be less attractive,
why? Because she's older? Oh, she looks fine.
less rich, or less famous, we are left confused. People are shocked. It's an injustice. Like in the instance of power star Omari Hardwick and his choice of wife in publicist Jennifer Fauch.
Is she unattractive? I mean, she has a big nose, but like, I kind of like that aesthetic. I'm kind of digging on that. I like that. I like that Jewish look. You know what I mean? I think it's kind of hot. So I don't really see the problem here.
Not only was Jennifer not rich, not famous, but she was also ugly as fuck. If you
well, she's not really ugly. She's masculine. She looks a bit masculine, but like it's not ugly.
Believe her detractors. Then you've got Justin Bieber and Hailey Baldwin, for example. The Justin Bieber fandom was horrified when he married Hailey.
I honestly have no idea what Hailey Baldwin looks like.
Justin, a good-looking, rich, talented male, and Hailey, who was somewhat less rich and less famous, but not by much, mind you. She's ugly, the internet fumed.
She's not ugly. Well, here's the thing. It's like, and I'm not a celebrity I'm a micro celebrity, right? With a micro penis. I don't actually, but it can be, first of all, it can be very difficult for a non-celebrity person to date like a celebrity-ish person. Again, I'm not anywhere near like their level, but my wife has expressed to me that it can be difficult to date somebody like myself because of the way that there are like larger communities of people kind of watching and hawk-eyeing you and whatnot. So I can understand that maybe part of this is like, he might have just decided I only want to date somebody that's a celebrity that understands particular boundaries. That could absolutely be part of the factor. So, that might be the reason why that's going on.
He deserves better than her. He clearly only married her to get back at his ex Selena. He couldn't possibly be in love with her.
Is Selena that attractive? Like, oh, okay.
And the fact that Pierce Brosnan, aka James Bond, has dared to not divorce his wife of 22 years because she has put on weight, had 2 children, and has the nerve to look a little bit older now at the age of 60 than she did when she married him at the age of 37.
That's just like a normal thing that's going to happen. It's weird that people are so, if people, I've never really seen anybody complain about this, but if they are, like, yeah, people get older, specifically women's body go through more changes than men. So, like, it makes sense. Like, yeah, your wife might just gain weight. It is what it is. It's not that big of a deal. Like, okay.
Really upset the internet. One Twitter user went as far as to use Keeley and Pierce as fodder for a meme, which stated that this was the reason that no one should get married. Has nobody noticed that?
Why? Having kids puts a pretty big toll on women. Why? That's just, like, weird. To not like understand it and acknowledge that is just a dumb baby shit.
Pierce himself doesn't exactly look the same now as he did when he got married to Keeley. As usual, we just seem to focus on the appearance of the female. She has to keep her looks, her body, stay looking youthful forever, which is...
I feel like it's harder for women to stay youthful as they get older than it is for men. Like, women's body needs to go through so many more changes, man. It's fucking crazy.
Physically impossible. But, of course, men can get dad bods. That's endearing and lovable, like a squishy teddy bear that you just want to cuddle. Grey hair? Silver fox.
It's interesting because, like, there is a stereotype that's like, oh, dads are attractive. And I understand it. I don't think that the body, like a dad bod itself, is attractive. I think it's the association with a man that sticks around and takes care of your kids. Maybe that's in short demand. Maybe that's why. But like, I think older women are hot. You know what I mean? Like, I'm getting older. It's like just what's supposed to happen. Like, I'm finding older women more and more attractive. Like, I'm finding saggy titties and gray hair more and more attractive. So I think that's supposed to happen. I don't know what it is about it, but it's hot. Maybe we should kind of talk about that more. It's probably a good idea for people to have that mental framing because you should want somebody that's going to be able to take care of your kid. And you gotta have those mommy milkers to take care of your babies, to feed your kids, you know what I'm saying?
Very attractive. Lines, wrinkles, they're distinguished. It's such a bloody double standard and it really pisses me off. Despite the fact that people seem to think that Keeley is not attractive enough to be married to James Bond, strangely enough, he seems to be absolutely besotted by her. He certainly doesn't think she's ugly or unattractive. In fact, he seems to be more in love with her now than when they got married.
It makes sense, man. As long as they're slamming hams, brother, that's what keeps a relationship going. Unironically, is like, I really like sex. There'll be moments where I have sex with my wife, and then like I don't fall out of love with my wife or anything. But there's like, you go through moods, you go like up and down. But then after you have sex, like that could be like a massive like bonding moment. You're like, oh fuck, like that shit, like it kind of rekindles you. So.
Said himself.
I think it's extraordinarily important to have sex, and some people don't have the same you know, they don't find as much value in sex, and that's fine. But I think that, at least for me, and I think for most people, sex is extraordinarily important.
That he loves her curves. He thinks she's beautiful. I found a great woman in Keely Shea. Not if I searched a million times over would I find one as good, is what he said. Then there's the Danish footballer Brian Laudrup, who dared marry Mette. People simply...
That one's a little shocking. When did he marry her? Today? Like today?
Can't seem to understand how these two ended up together.
I gotta be real with you. I can understand all the other ones. I could see the attraction in all the other ones. I don't know. Was this a teacher that groomed him in high school or something? Like, I'm not trying to be rude or anything. I am a little curious. I'm sorry for being judgmental. God bless.
They claim that Mette is ugly, yet clearly Brian doesn't think so. And he obviously likes her because they have been together for 36 years and have 2 daughters together.
Oh, well, it sounds like they've been married for a long time. Then it makes sense. Like, yeah, if they've been married for a long time, like, yeah, okay.
And then there's Cillian Murphy. I love Cillian Murphy. Irish guys. The furor surrounding Cillian Murphy's wife of 20 years, mind you, Yvonne McGuinness, was... She's ugly. The internet fumed.
This girl's kind of ugly.
How dare Cillian find her attractive, let alone marry her? And I have to wonder, are we looking at the same woman? I know beauty is subjective and all, but I think she is so beautiful. Okay.
She's fine. Right. She's not bad.
So she's not Kim Kardashian.
It's interesting that there is so much shaming. It's like there's so many people, and it seems to be mostly women. I could be wrong in this instance. It seems to be a lot of women that are shaming men for dating women that they don't consider attractive enough. It's very interesting. Like, why would you want to shame a guy into trying to leave his partner? It's very weird.
Or Megan Fox, but I see gorgeous cheekbones, soulful eyes, beautiful...
I see a third eye. Nothing wrong with that. God bless.
Smile. I mean, just look at this woman's bone structure. I, for one, can definitely see how Cillian is attracted.
I'm not really attracted to bone structure. I'm going to be absolutely real with you. I am attracted to, though, fat structure. I like that shit. What?
To her. Not to mention, like Cillian, Yvonne is a fellow creative. Yvonne is a classically trained visual artist who holds a master's degree from the Royal College of Art in London. Let's not
kind of makes sense. I mean, the guys can definitely be attracted to intelligence, so
quick to discount how attractive intelligence and creativity is in a person. Then there's Aaron Taylor Johnson. This one is a doozy.
Is that like a wiener? Johnson?
Multitude of reasons. His wife, Sam Taylor Johnson.
Yeah, she's cute. Like, I don't understand. There's like girls with big noses that everybody finds them attractive. I don't understand.
Johnson really gets the internet's knickers in a twist.
Whoa! I don't think that they care that much about this.
Fans are furious that he chose her. They literally cannot understand why he would marry someone who they claim is not only older, I mean she is, but that she's also ugly. Now
She's not ugly. I guess she's older. She has like a big nose. Like, who cares? I like big noses. I don't really get it.
I am not going to get into the age gap here. Let's just say it's a big one. And there was definitely some kind of weird power dynamic at play when these two got together. But
when did they get together? That's interesting. That's important information, sis.
Digress. Calling Sam ugly is just plain incorrect. Physically, she's got great hair, a strong body, lovely cheekbones, great teeth, and sparkly eyes. If you ignore our current beauty standards for just...
Maybe he's investing in the future. He's like, she got older and she stayed fit. So like, I'm good. Let me just stick with this one. You know what I mean?
One moment, you will see that actually she's very, very attractive. Now, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, looks unimportant, looks don't matter. Of course looks matter. Being physically attracted to your partner is pretty important. And here's the real kicker. Some people don't determine what they find to be attractive in the opposite sex based on physical attributes at all. Some men really couldn't give a shit what color your hair is or how big your nose is or how flat
Well, okay, so I mean, that might be true, but I feel like that's just not true. Some guys like those qualities. Like, oh, how big your nose? Some guys like big noses or bigger women or this or that. You know? So I think it's like, it's not necessarily that, oh, guys don't care. Some guys don't care about this. No, I think they do. I think that they find that attractive. There's something they find. Like that guy that's dating an older woman, I very highly doubt he's like, yeah, she is old, but I love her. He's probably like, oh, I like this. I like how saggy her pussy lips are. You know what I mean? Like he's probably stroking it to fucking grandma porn or something. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a beautiful thing. I'm just saying. I don't think it's like, oh, he must just not care. I don't think that's true, brother.
Your belly is or how big your butt is. Believe it or not, some people are actually attracted to intelligence. Some might
or those big butts. It's interesting. This person has an interesting perspective in some of these cases. Again, I think these guys like it. They like the way that these people look. It's not like they're just like, oh, I just like the intelligence. Nothing else matters. Blah, blah, blah. No, they're digging on it. They're digging on it. You know what I'm saying?
Value humor or kindness, creativity,
or fat pussies or old bitches. You know what I'm saying? Non-derogatory. You know what I'm saying?
Empathy. It's almost like there's more to women than what we look like.
Oh, no. I'm just kidding.
I posted a simple transition video of me and my husband going from towels.
Oh, you know what's funny? I think this girl might have blocked me. I think she might have blocked me, guys. I think she might have hit me with the block button. Isn't that funny? I think it's because I make edgy humor jokes. So kind of understandable. But
to dressed up together.
What's her name on TikTok? Somebody send me her TikTok channel. And I'll open it in incognito mode. And let me know when you do in the Discord, please.
This is not unlike what all kinds of different couples do on this app. My video went viral, and I know we all know why.
Just to be clear, yeah, but to say, like, you know, part of your virality is probably because of the unorthodox nature, I guess, of your relationship. So, you know, I wouldn't shame it too much. It's just fucking making you money. Yeah.
It's because by beauty standards, we don't make sense. And since we don't add up, people try to add things to my side of the equation to make it make sense by saying things like, oh,
she just gives fucking fire dome, man. Like, what do you know what I'm saying?
She must not have been fat when they met, or, oh, she's got to be rich. Or they try to decrease his side of the equation by saying things like,
he might be gay.
He must be gay.
He might be. I don't know.
Or he fetishes fat women. I get asked this question.
I mean, there's a difference between the fetishizing something and finding it attractive or having a preference, we'll say, right? Like, I feel like fetishizing comes with like an additive of like some kind of like hatred towards like, oh, this is disgusting, but I love it. You know, kind of a, you know, in that case, could be wrong, but.
Question all the time. Do you get jealous when people hit on your husband? And my answer is always no. That's because
I would. Why? There's nothing wrong with getting jealous if somebody hits. I'd be jealous if somebody hits on my wife. Like, it doesn't mean that I'm threatened by someone else, but I might still be jealous.
When people typically slide into his DMs, they're leading with their body first. And on the scale of what
clearly he does not care. No, I'm just kidding.
My husband values, how well my body fits into the beauty standards is not on the top of his list.
Well, what is? Because you're making it sound like he thinks you're unattractive. Like physically unattractive. Just be like, my husband likes fat butts. He likes big fat donks, you know? Say something like that.
Values my humor and my commitment and my love and my caring heart.
This is like almost sad. Like, why don't you just be like, no, my husband thinks I'm hot. He likes fat girls. Say something like that. It sounds like you're self-conscious about this.
So when someone slides into his DMs leading with their body first, he's asking, but what else?
Oh, I just
because he, like I, know that people's values don't lie in how well their bodies fit into society's trash beauty standards.
And if you guys need...
Well... Yeah, I'll say just fundamentally, like, your weight is not your only factor when it comes to the makeup of you as a person. There's 1,000 other things. I understand that. But again, like, she makes it seem like he's not really physically attracted to her. Like, she could have been like, he likes me. He likes my fat body. He thinks it's hot. It's not a fetish. He doesn't disrespect me because I feel like fetishes are like disrespectful. It's like, oh, it's disgusting. But yeah, I don't know. It's like, oh, maybe she's just down on herself. I don't know.
Proof that looks aren't all that when it comes to a relationship. How many times have we seen women in the public eye who, by all intents and purposes, look about
as big tits? True, man. That's a big deal for guys. Big boobies. I like big boobies.
As perfect as a woman can look. Who ends up with a partner who disrespects her, cheats on her, or leaves her. Sure, she was beautiful, but ultimately, looks alone cannot carry a relationship. Look at Emily Ratajkowski, for example. Absolute stunner. Practically perfect in every physical way possible. Husband cheated. Angelina Jolie, one of the world's most beautiful women, cheated on. Victoria.
That's true, but she did cut her tits off. I'm not trying to be rude, but, you know.
Victoria Beckham cheated on. Kylie Jenner also cheated on. Gwen Stefani, she got cheated on too. Being conventionally beautiful is great and all, but if that's all you have going for you, sorry, but that's going to get boring pretty quickly.
The reason why those...
Well, just to be clear, I don't know the specifics of any of those the girls in their relationships, but just because somebody gets cheated on doesn't mean that it's the girl's fault. Because what she just said kind of is blaming those women for getting cheated on. It's like, yep, if only they had more than just looks, they wouldn't have got cheated on. Like, no, some men are just fucking trifling ass hoes. You know what I'm saying? So let's not boil it all down to one party or the other. Okay.
Women that you consider ugly or unattractive, or who don't fit the standard or societal ideals of beauty, often get the best men and get treated the best is because they have more to offer than looks. They have more to bring than just their bodies, and they have more to give than just their goodies.
This is why
maybe.
humans are
I'm not sure if that's true all the time. That might just be a cope. I don't know if there's a statistic to back that up. You know, I can understand, like, fundamentally, if you struggle with something in life and you overcome it, then you can gain a strength from that, right? I get it. You know, like, oh, maybe you did find if you have less suitors willing to suit you, then you're more likely to find somebody that sticks, I guess, is the argument. Like, sure, I guess I could latch onto that argument. But
multifaceted. We are so much more than our looks alone, which in today's day and age is great news. If you have been looking in the mirror and feeling down about yourself because you're like, I don't fit the beauty standard, I don't have a slim, thick body, I'm not a size 0, take heart, my friend, because what makes you beautiful encompasses so much more than just your physical appearance. The thing that most people seem to forget is that you could be the most attractive person in a room, and yet not everyone in that room is going to find you attractive. Say there's 10 people in
maybe. It's also part of it is that if you're like, they might be intimidated by you. If you're like really attractive, like if you're a 10 out of 10 in the room and everybody else is like a 6 or a 7, they might just be intimidated by your looks and might not necessarily like be as inclined to want to they're like, oh, I don't have a shot anyway, so why bother, you know?
in the room. 6 might think you're a babe, and then the other 4 might be like, she's not my type.
I think Michelle was the most attractive. How she looked, how she carried herself, and it just seems like someone that's going to live an exciting life, I guess you could say, or that you can have like a deep conversation with.
I think that Maria was the most attractive.
I'm slim thick,
It was just like her whole vibe, and like I liked how her hair.
Uh-oh, guys, we're about to get a fucking DMCA strike from the epic Jubilee cuckfucks over here.
Was how her makeup was done. Like she looked very nice.
It doesn't mean you're ugly, it just means that beauty is subjective. I know it sounds
Wow.
cliche, but beauty really is in the eye of the beholder. And what one person finds attractive, another might find ugly. Looking like Kendall Jenner or Megan Fox is not the only way.
Yeah, like I'm not really into Megan Fox, not really my thing. Now Lucy Lawless or Mose from Ned's Declassified. That's my jam right there, dude.
To be attractive. These women look nothing like the quote-unquote hot girls of today, and yet their partners think they are the hottest women in the
I know
world.
what's going
They may
on
not
right
fit society's standard of beauty,
I'm gonna die.
but they fit their husband's standard of beauty. And if that is not the very definition of beauty is in the eye of the beholder, then I don't know what is. For example, and I'm talking men here, but you could apply this logic to any gender. Some men appreciate curves. Others prefer an athletic
There we go. Sure, that's true.
body. Some men like women with curly hair, and others prefer straight. Some like blondes, others like brunettes. You get what I'm saying here. What makes someone attractive is actually a combination of all these things that contribute to someone's overall appeal. Have you ever met someone and you're just like, they are so hot? Even though on paper, they may not technically be your type, and you can't really put your finger on what makes you
Well,
find
if I find a girl hot, she's probably my type. But okay, I guess I get the. I guess I get what you're saying.
them so attractive, but there's just something about them, like an X factor, a certain je ne sais quoi, that makes you find them so damn hot. Because that's the thing, my friends. You don't have to be the prettiest girl in the room. You don't have to meet society's unrealistic standards of beauty to be drop dead gorgeous. Sure, looks are interesting, but looks also fade. And if you are relying solely on your looks to get you a life partner, I'm sorry, but you're going to be sorely disappointed. Do you know what
That part is probably true. I mean, you got to develop a personality outside of just the way you look. I mean, I tend to agree with that. For sure.
doesn't fade? A sense of humor, intelligence, creativity.
I mean, the intelligence does fade as you get older, but I understand the general point. You don't like if you're a very conventionally attractive looking person, you may not necessarily develop other skills, right? If that's all you really have going for you, sure.
Kindness, passion, ambition, empathy, the shape of your body, the color of your hair, the size of your belly, like literally
Size of your big boobs.
all that pales in comparison. So why do ugly women attract hot men? Well, here's a novel idea. Perhaps they're not ugly at all. They may not
Hey, there we go. We got there. Okay, cool. It was a little subversion of our expectations going through most of the video.
be your cup of tea, and that's fine. But their partner thinks they're a stunner. And just perhaps
A stone cold stunner. Glass shatter?
these women have more to them than just their face or their body. Maybe, Just maybe they attracted these attractive men because they have epic personalities. Maybe they get along with each other. Maybe they share a similar sense of humor, or they get along with each other's families, or they have similar life stories.
Exactly. Tig old biddies. That's what I'm saying.
Or they share similar ethics. The idea that physical attractiveness is the sole factor in attracting a partner is,
I thought that was the boss, and I just unleashed my load everywhere.
quite frankly, simply not accurate. So many factors contribute to attraction. An attractive man may be attracted to a woman not because of what she looks like at all. He might find himself drawn to her because she possesses qualities that he himself values. And
Yeah, true.
here's the crux of it. A woman doesn't need to have an Instagram body or a tweak-minted face or big boobs or big butt or big pouty lips. She doesn't need to look perfect by society's beauty standards in order to deserve a man who others may think is too rich or too good looking or too successful for her.
I would say more than anything else is that, like, obviously, generally speaking, you know, you can kind of look at somebody and have a reasonable expectation of what they are or are not going to be looking for. Or look at somebody and be like, okay, you know, what type of person would be into that? But there are going to be people who fall outside of that, and you shouldn't shame them out of that. You shouldn't shame them and be like, oh, you shouldn't be dating this person, because I don't think that's particularly productive, because what you're trying to do is you're effectively consistently hammering them into breaking up and like leaving that relationship out of some kind of insecurity. And you don't want to be that factor. Like, you don't need to give people anxiety over the choice. It's ridiculous.
Relationships and people are complex and multifaceted, and the dynamics of attraction are influenced by a multitude of factors far beyond physical appearance.
All right. Well, I agree with that. Based.